Hello my lovelies, welcome to today's video. It is a tutorial on this dramatic look I'm wearing right here. I wanted to do something a little bit different, a little bit out of my comfort zone. I'm not quite sure how I feel about it yet, so let me know what you think in the comments down below. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course hit the notification bell. And without any further ado, let's get right into the video. We are going to start with eyes for sure today because there is going to be fallout. So I started by just putting on some tape to keep our shadow nice and sharp. We're going to do more of a winged shadow, we're not doing liner. And then I am just prepping the lids with the e.l.f. Camo Concealer, and I am just blending that out with a sponge. I wanted to have a nice bright base for the shadow to stick onto, and I don't set it down because I do want that kind of tacky base. And then to start, we are going in with the Buxom. This is a single eyeshadow in the shade Dusk Till Dawn. It's a really pretty kind of warm emeraldy green. Maybe not emerald, but a warm forest green is maybe a better description. And I am just going to take this on a flat, dense brush and start packing it right onto my lid. And I am keeping this kind of just below my crease and then winging it out as we go out, like you would a winged liner, kind of. I am going to blend out those edges. I don't want any weird harsh edges, but I also didn't want to add any colors, so I just used a clean fluffy brush to blend our those edges there. And then once we have kind of our base down there, we are going to add some of the Steve Laurent, this is Antique Olive, it's a loose eyeshadow. And this is more of a kind of golden olive shade. And so I am just taking that right over top of where we put the first shade. And it almost gives it kind of a, not quite duochrome, but it gives it a little bit more, I can't think of the word, not depth, but something like that. And I am just going to go back and forth and layer these two shades. And yeah, just get it built up to a point that I like. I did decide to wing it out a little bit more here. You can see I do end up pulling this pretty much into the tail end of my brow, and I do go past my tape here. So I would recommend just using a longer piece of tape farther up your brows. Probably would be better if you're going to do a look like this, just to help keep it nice and clean. But yeah, again, we are just going to keep building up and blending out that top line. Again, I'm not adding any shadow to the brush that you see me blending out kind of that top line with. I'm just keeping it clean. Obviously, it's probably picking up a little bit of shadow from what I'm blending out, but that's not a big deal. We just want it to be a nice, soft, kind of diffused line as we get up to the brow bone there. Then I'm going to pull my tape off and just clean up those edges a little bit. And what I did for that was I just put a little bit of a like skin refreshing mist on a small flat concealer brush and just wiped it away. This way you still get that nice sharp line, but you don't have to like get a Q-tip or anything like that. Then we are going to move right onto the skin. That's really going to be it for the eyes. I'm starting with the NYX Bear With Me spray just to start with a nice hydrated base. I wanted quite dewy skin for this look. And then I added the Tarte Quench Primer again, just to get the skin nice and hydrated. So once we have that all over the skin, we are going to move right onto foundation. And I am using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation today. Obviously we're going for a kind of dewy look, so you definitely want to use a luminous foundation. And I do really like this one. So this is what you've seen me use in most of my videos recently. I really like the color on me. I also really like the finish. I'm undecided on the on the wear time on it. It does last well if I wear it more how I would wear a normal foundation, but if I do it dewy, I don't think it lasts quite as well. I'm moving on without myself, so we better catch up. For concealer, I am using the IT Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer. This one is very light and it's also very thick, brightening, so I only use a tiny bit of it. Because it is thick, I just do kind of little dots in the shape I'm going to use. You do not need a lot of product. When I say dots, I'm not leaving like little like actual dots, but just a dot shape of the product. You want to keep it really light because it can be very heavy, especially on the under eyes. And once we have those blended out, I am going to add some to the rest of the center of my face, my chin, my upper lip. It's already on my nose for my eyes. And then I also put it on my forehead as well. Just because it is so bright, I want it to be balanced on my face, not just a super bright under eye and then the rest of my face one color, if that makes sense. Once that is all blended out, we're going to go ahead and get everything set down. And I am just using my favorite Coty Airspun powder today. And you definitely want to set the areas you used concealer on first, especially with this one where it's quite tacky, quite sticky, and you don't want it to crease. Then once that's done, you can go ahead and just set down the rest of your face. And we'll move right on to bronzer. And today I'm using one I haven't used in a while, but I'm actually really obsessed with how it looked. This is the Ciate Bamboo Bronzer in Palm Island. And I feel like this just has a really good tone for my skin. It's not too warm, it's not too cool. It also doesn't, like, it's not super powdery, it's not difficult to apply, if that makes sense. It just went on really nice. So I'm bronzing my typical areas there. And then I am going to go ahead and bring that down the sides of my nose as well, just to bring the warmth to the center of the face. And then for blush, I'm using the Manna Kadar Beauty blush. It's supposed to be a buildable blush in the shade Bali Babe. It is so soft and super pigmented. I did tap my brush off. I used it like I would use a normal blush, but oh my goodness. So I'm going to take just a second here to blend that out to try and get the pigmentation down a little bit. But if you're going to use this blush, or if you I guess if you're ever going to use it, whether you have it now or you get it in the future, be very, very light-handed with it, because it doesn't mess around. I couldn't quite get it to blend out like I wanted, so I did just end up pulling it across the nose to make it look like it was supposed to be there. And then we are, of course, going to highlight, and today I'm using the Nomad Cosmetics Kiss of Sun highlighter. This one is in the shade Balmoral Beach, which is kind of, in the pan it looks quite kind of pinky peachy, but I feel like on the face it applies more of a champagne color for me, maybe with a tiny bit of a kind of pinky peach tone to it, but for the most part you don't see that. At least I didn't think so. It is really pretty though, so we are just going to go ahead and highlight, of course, cheekbones, down the nose, and then I am adding it to I'm being very liberal with it because obviously we're going for a dewy look, so a little extra highlighter helps. Going to fill in my brows, and I did want to go for quite a fluffy brow look today. I am just using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Powder Duo here with an angled brush, and I'm filling in the tail of my brows quite defined, but then as we get to that kind of the inner section of the brow, I'm trying to keep it really light and fluffy, not too much pigmentation there, not super defined, if that makes sense. And then I am just setting them down with the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter, and I'm actually obsessed with this. I've never used it before I used it in this video, and oh my goodness. Especially if you're doing like fluffy brows, it works really well. It's quite a strong hold. And then we are going to set everything down with some of the Flower Beauty, I think it's called Seal the Deal. It's their hydrating setting spray. And we're going to give our face a second to dry, and then we will move right on to lashes. And we are, of course, curling them and then applying some of the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and we are going to do top and bottom lashes here. Since we didn't do eyeshadow on the lower lash line, just be as careful as you can applying the mascara to your lower lash, because you don't want to get a bunch of mascara under there. If you get some, that's fine, whatever. It doesn't bother me personally. Then we are going to go ahead and pop on the Amy June lashes in the style Lena. These are quite an angled, kind of like cat eye lash, so I wanted to use those to match the shape of our eyeshadow since it's quite winged out at the end. And then we were going to go ahead and finish up with our lips. And today I am using the Thrive Cosmetics Lip Fuller Lip Liner in the shade, I'm guessing it's pronounced Ghislaine, which is a little bit unfortunate, but super pretty color. I am just kind of doing your typical lip lining, doing the outer edges, and then I am just bringing it in a little bit towards the center of the lip, not all the way, but just kind of blending it inwards a little bit, if that makes sense. And then we will be popping on the Finding Ferdinand lipstick in the shade Au Naturel. This is maybe my favorite nude lipstick I own on me, actually. I love it. And then I did want to add a gloss just to make my lips look a little bit fuller. And I used the ColourPop Sailor Moon lip gloss in the shade Moon Tiara. And I'm actually obsessed with this lip combo. Anyway, that is the finished look. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell before you go. And I will see you guys all in my next one.